Greetings, Iain from RTO, and welcome to a brand new show called In the Camera's View. Now, it's part of the pick and mix that we do on Thursdays now. As I said last week, one week we'll look at the top 10 in the UK for that exact day. Then we do a thing called In the Camera's View, which is what this is. And then next week we've got the US top 10 from the next Thursday, and then the final one of the rotation is where we look at producers, where we go through, have a quick look at a producer's albums that he's produced, or she in some cases, and then I'll give you what my top 5 albums are of that producer. So today is In the Camera's View. On this show will be dedicated to those VHS videos that we all had, and DVDs of concerts that have never been put on vinyl, but they do need some love. So we're going to start off today. I thought it would be very apt, as the very first thing I ever did on this channel was a status quo thing, so I thought for the In the Camera's View I would do something status quo, because I know how popular status quo are on this channel. So we're going to have a look at the End of the Road videos, and they are videos because they've never come out on any other format. Well, there were 2 videos. There was Status Quo, End of the Road 1984, and More from the End of the Road. Now, these were filmed at their so-called farewell concert at the Milton Keynes Bowl on the 21st of July 1984, and I was there because it is literally about 40 minutes away from me. So the band that did this tour, the End of the Road tour, were Mr. Francis Rossi on lead guitars and vocals, the late Rick Parfitt on rhythm guitars and vocals, the late Alan Lancaster on bass and vocals, Andy Bown on keyboards and harmonicas, who's still in the band with Francis, and drummer Pete Kircher. Now, this was produced and directed by Keith associate producer Annie Russell. It was an executive producer on it, and the consultant was the manager at the time, Colin Johnson. Now, for some reason, and I think I know why, because you couldn't put the whole concert on one tape. Didn't happen in them days. So to keep the quality, they put it on 2. So the first one, just called More from the End of the, this was the End of the Road. This came out in late 1984. So because I had it for Christmas, so must have come out near Christmas. So on here, on this one, we get Caroline, of course. Rollover Lay Down. It's a great version. There's a great bit in it towards the end where Francis is doing a bit of a guitar solo and he's bobbing his head, like really going for it. Great stuff. And then all of a sudden it went dark. You got the first 2 tracks at the beginning, and then all of a sudden it went dark for Whatever You Want. Then we get that the first time we heard that medley, I mean, I'd heard it a couple of times on that tour, which you got Mystery Song, Railroad Most of the Time, Wild Side of Life, and Slow Train. Then we get Rockin' All Over the World. There's quite quickly in that though, someone throws something on stage on Rick and he wasn't too impressed. May have been a bottle of something, and we're not something that you would drink. Then we have Dirty Water, where we all go whoa whoa whoa, you know, all that, and Sturm and all the fun of the fair. Then we go into after Dirty Water we have Roadhouse Blues. There's that thing that never to cover a Doors song, but Yes, Quo, I've always done a great version of that. What you're proposing, and you get the firework display and all that nonsense. A bit of Down Down and Bye Bye Johnny. But they've edited it, they've missed out the Batman, and it's not very good editing on that at all. But there you go. So on this one, I think there's some really bad editing on here. They needed to put a song in that was a bit dusky because it went from near enough light to darkness and full lights. But then again, this is a VHS tape, and you can't put hours upon hours on a VHS tape. They could have done a bit better, having, and they missed out Paper Plane. I mean, how can you miss out Paper Plane? We'll go and talk about that a little bit in a moment. So that was one tape, and then in early 85 we had another one called More From the End of the Road, and this starts with what they come on stage on to keep right on to the end of the road, and there's clips of what's happened in during the day, and when they arrived. I mean, it was a good day. We'll talk about that in a moment. Then for some reason we get another version of Rollover Lay Down. Do we need Rollover and Down on both tapes? No. Why didn't they put Paper Plane on? I just don't know why Paper Plane was missed off completely. Then we get the bit between on the first video where it turns from day to night in 10 seconds. We get Backwater and Just Take Me. Great tracks. Pete does a great job of Just Take Me. He's not Spud, but he does a great track version of it. Then we get Hold You Back, Over the Edge, which is absolutely brilliant. Then we get 4,500 times in its entirety. Well, I think it is. There's one bit in the editing that looks like it isn't, but hey ho. Big Fat Mama and Don't Waste My Time. I think out of the two videos, this one's the better one, because the other one's more got the greatest hits on that one, and this is more the good old Quo, the album tracks. It's really good. I mean, I've seen 4,500 times played when it was played at this, you know, the full 20-minute whatever version was. It's brilliant. But I do refer this. I love this because, you know, it was a great day. It was my first big sort of festival. I mean, I was 17 years old. We had a great day. I mean, I think we've spoken about this before. We had Jason and the Scorchers, Gary Glitter, Nazareth, Marillion and Status Quo. Great day. The only band that were a bit naff were Jason and the Scorchers because they got bottled, but everyone else was good. So it's a very, very special concert. Now, it's about time someone remastered this, put it out as a Blu-ray and a CD version of the whole concert, remixed, remastered, because I tell you what, this would sell like hot cakes. I mean, everyone, when they brought Live at the BBC, everyone got it because it had the full NEC gig, or the Charlie gig as it's affectionately known, and I think they should do this to this as well. Francis says he didn't have a good day, but then again he was on drugs and he sort of moans, but it was a great day and fond memories. So I'm going to give this little package, as we call it, an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. Because even though it's thing, I mean, I had it transferred onto disk, and it's starting to, even though it's okay on disk, it's as I say, a little bit wobbly now, and it doesn't look right. It needs cleaning up properly and bringing out. So if anyone watches this that's sort of involved in this, find out who owns the rights to this and get it out for the fans again, because we desperately need it. Okay, that's all for this. I'll be back later with live stream. If not, tomorrow we've got a very sort of controversial live album ranking. I'm going to look at the albums that Queen have done post Freddie. There's 4 albums. There's 2 with Adam Lambert and 2 with Paul Rodgers. Have a discussion about that. We're going to have a look at a new Christmas album as well. Andrea Corr has released a Christmas album. And this week we've got another part 3 of the Gong story. And we're looking at the one album by Shamal Gong, which is what is affectionately known as that crossover between David Allen's Gong and Pierre Morland's Gong. So that's for tomorrow. So we've got a Super Friday tomorrow. So I'll say bye for now. Either join us tonight at 8 PM on live stream, or I will see you tomorrow with the show. So bye for now.